Howdy, everybody. Welcome to another day of Rogue Trader as we continue Chapter 1. And look to get our Navigator today. We need a Navigator. How's everybody's Friday going? Hopefully it's good. Ready for some lousy weather here the next couple days. Hopefully we get through it all right. The power stays on, all that kind of stuff. But we will see what happens. Not a whole lot we can do about it other than prepare. So hopefully you are in the southern United States especially. Careful for the next few days. Hey, Blaze, good morning. How are you? Welcome back. Good to see you again. Well, not too bad. Just getting myself woke up and organized for my adventures today. Let's see, put that back on. Let's see. Today's journey will take us here because we need a navigator. But Captain, sorry to disturb you. Pandemonium outside the bridge gate. One of the officers seems to be demanding an audience with you in person. I think I hear Master Wisarian's voice. In any case, I wanted to warn you in advance. Oh, good. There is a kerfluffle going on. This is not conduct of an officer. There are antics of a highborn brat out of Lark. Explain yourself, Lieutenant. I apologize, sir, but I must speak to the Lord Captain. Very well, Lieutenant. You may address the Lord Captain, not least because I see you already seen fit to disturb him. Your unauthorized appearance on the bridge and display of belligerence toward a higher-ranking officer will be logged on your personnel file without delay. Lord Captain, Lieutenant Arvier Vint, requesting permission to speak on a matter of extreme importance and urgency. I'm sorry, Lord Captain. I thought that drastic times called for drastic measures. This matter cannot wait. Any minute now, an assault unit will be dispatched to the lower decks on orders to crush the workers' strike by any means necessary. But I am convinced this step is unwarranted, that the crisis itself is provoked by the actions of one of your senior officers. Scott, work on Twitch. Excellent timing. How was work today? No hurry to intervene. Let's skeptical huff. He glances at Sourback, who is standing not far from him, but she maintains a stony expression. Lord Captain, I urge you to investigate the actions of Seneschal Wisarian and to intervene in what's happening in the lower decks, because very soon you'll have a mutiny or a massacre on our hands. Not deem it a problem worthy of the rogue trader's attention. The lower decks, as it so happens, are in revolt. 30-some years ago, we even had a revolutionary leader rise up who dared to establish workers' rule across the entire ship. It took a month to restore order. But even 8 years later, we were still battling rumors that the hero had survived his execution and was on the verge of gathering people to fight against tyranny once more. Abelard scoffs. Needless to say, the rumors were baseless, and as for the current situation, we have sufficient enforcers to deal with it. But on the ship, the word of the Lord Captain carries more weight than a salvo from 100 bolters. I'm sure if the rogue trader addresses the malcontents directly, he will quell the unrest. I dread to think what problem you will disturb the rogue trader with next. Perhaps you will ask the Lord Captain to break up brawls in the mess room. I have already given you the means to resolve this problem. You simply need to use them. If I may, your lordship, sending a hit squad to crush a rebellion is a means of ignoring the problem, not solving it. That's a fair point. Situation could boil over any minute, so I'll give you the condensed version. It all began when the enforcers found a cultist amulet on the body of someone who had killed in a drunken brawl. We reported up the chain immediately, arranged for a cleansing rite to be performed, and opened an investigation. No heretics have been found alive, but the searches brought tension between enforcers and workers to a head. All right, well, where does he come into all this? I shall explain. Of course he will. I beg you to hurry. Time is running out. I will not hurry, since my competence is under scrutiny. Oh, what a jerk. I shall speak as long as I see fit. There is an established order to the way of things are done on this ship. And one of the pillars of the system is that the rogue trader's attention is not distracted by trivial matters. Yet the Seneschal's role is to ensure that. I have always handled internal problems myself, so of course, when I received information about cultists hiding on the lower decks, I took the matter in hand. So long as I live, not one of the vermin who murdered Theodora von Valentius will find refuge on her ship. You were far too heavy-handed, Seneschal Worsarian. Arrest, interrogations, mass punishment for entire sectors has driven the people to the brink. Now there's a strike on the lower decks on Depot 4 to be precise. 3 worker clans are involved, but many more are passively supporting him. The situation could degenerate into an all-out insurrection. When I reported my concerns, the only response I received from them was an order to dispatch an assault unit and crush the strike with maximum force. Morning here in Boston, my work messed up my whole routine. I stayed up all night because of our project. Oh. Boston. I like Boston. Good town. I've been there forever, though. Stayed up all night. Oh, no. Be crashing out. For my part, I urge the Lord Captain to go down to the lower deck, stop the assault unit, and speak directly with the people. You will see that they're not lying or harboring heretics. This way, you can stop the uprising before it begins. Look, Captain, I swear that Seneschal Worsen has never granted me any privilege, never once advocated for me or still in my promotions, although he is a man who convinced me to become an officer in the first place. He ordered me extensive guidance in my service, which I'm grateful to him, and while not all my fellows receive his attention, I know of at least a dozen fine officers who Seneschal keeps in his sights to ensure they continue to strive. To prepare new generations of the dynasty servants, to instruct them and separate them from potential. I've exhausted it, that is my duty. The ship has bays worth of pilots, enforcers, officers, technicians, and stewards who I have raised personally. By the throne, every third person sitting on the bridge right now is a student of mine at one point. Let's go check it out. Take the whole crew. We probably won't need them. Lower decks are a source of endless problems. Sometimes I dearly regret that we cannot replace all the locals with servitors. Of course they were. The organization of the daily routine life of the ship rests upon my shoulders. The mountain of challenges and problems from which I endeavored to insulate you, Lord Captain. The situation on the lower decks has been a cause for concern, but I have intervened personally on more than one occasion. That must be why they remember me. They do not know your face. To them, you are akin to a creature of legend, one who stood on the steps of the Golden Throne, no less, whereas I'm a man whose name is attached to every order, docking rations, or lowering a base heating. really care.
I still do not see our purpose in coming here.
You caused this problem, so we're going to look at it.
Going for a stroll on the lower decks every once in a while is good for you. Lets you.
Okay, I will take a look at it. Lieutenant Vent, my patient is wearing thin. I have given you an order. Now get out of my way. I cannot comply with that order, ma'am. Vent looks shaken, but there's fire in her eyes. This is my deck and my sector. So long as this area remains under the Lord Captain's special oversight, no action can be taken without my express permission. There are only 3 people who are authorized to make me stand down. The first officer, the rogue trader, and the Emperor himself. All my lessons fall on deaf ears. Your Lordship. Your Lordship, my people have locked down the bay where the strikers are, including their leaders. We have a situation under control as far as resources allow. Under control, Lieutenant. I came here to lead an investigative unit. And what do I see? The rabble on the verge of mutiny. This is nothing. There's nothing to investigate. This simply calls for immediate repressions and firing squads. And you, Vent, are a step away from facing charges ourselves. Talk to these people. A dozen pairs of eyes stare apprehensively at you. The people before you are typical inhabitants of the lower deck. You take in their simple clothing, crude weapons, and faces a display of varying levels of mutation, from barely discernible to strange to the outright grotesque. A whisper passes through the crowd. You detect a mixture of fear, astonishment, and joy in their reactions. Lord Captain, you have come down to us. Striking? That's news to us, your lordship. Tall, thin man in worker's garb. All we're doing is asking questions, saying what we think. Shut up, Rivet, snaps the old woman. She turns her hostile dark eyes on you. Here's the deal, your lordship. Your damned enforcers are all over us down here. They say they're looking for cultists. One wrong word and they're reaching for their batons. If they want to punish someone, they turn off the heating to hold bays for a week at a time. So we get sick and freeze. In my clan, 2 little ones died from inflammation in their lungs, all because of those enforcers. All true. Vince is the only enforcer who stood up for us. Clear as day, who had a mother from the lower decks and who grew up amidship, and has no fellow feeling toward us. The grim man with the scarred face throws up his arms. Your lordship, we're no villains here. We're honest workers, your servants. We plotted no disorder. We went on strike openly, and now we've got guns pointed at us. All we're doing is asking to be allowed to work in peace without being harassed. Cultist amulet? What's that? The gewgaw they found in the dead drunkard? It was something evil forbidden. We sure didn't know. The enforcers just said they were looking for heretics among us, and anyone obstructing their investigation would be punished. How could there be heretics here? We know our own people. There have been no new faces around. Definitely not, and if there were, we'd be the first to report them. And as for this amulet, or whatever it is, they took it off a dead body. There are no cultists still breathing on our sector, that's for sure. But when the fight broke out, some enterprising fool looted the body. The boots they came back with, nobody's ever tread on these decks in boots so fine, I can tell you that. Seems to me these cultists have better commanders than us. Oh yeah, those boots were really fine, and there was no harm in taking them, right? As for the amulet, it must have been pocketed by somebody who didn't know any better. We don't need any ambulance around here. We all worship the Emperor. And when we're working, we bow down before the machine spirits of large and small transformers and the servo motor. The same way my grandfather was taught 100 years ago by a tech priest who came calling. Believe us, your lordship, we are a people of faith. I can confirm the information regarding the proper tending of the machine spirits in the sector. Servitors indicate that the commoners are performing the sacraments they are permitted to know. Naive children, weren't you taught from an early age about the dangers of the archenemy's creation? Weren't you warned that any unfamiliar object could be one of them? We were told, Holy Sister, but it was a long time ago. The last time we saw a confessor in our sector was just after I had my third little one. It is regrettable, but you cannot lay the burden of leading a righteous life on the shoulders of the Holy Fathers. Who will you blame when the beast crawls out from under those amulets you stole from the heretics? The Holy Father who was not there, or the scavenger who brought the evil down on himself and his neighbors? Look at this. The exalted Lord Captain himself is asking us bilge rats what we want. Well, here's what. We want you to rein in your damned enforcers, to quit turning off the heat, and stop battering everything that moves. No, that's not it. We want enforcers gone from here. And we want to be armed. Give us arms and we'll govern ourselves. We defend ourselves if the cultists do show their face. I've been leading my clan for 20 years now. Getting rid of these clothing thugs can only improve things around here. Gone too far, old man. They'll never let the maggots on the lower decks live without the enforcers breathing down their necks. They'll probably even insist the enforcers on the upper decks, too. As for weapons, what do we need them for? By the first days out, we'll have someone shooting their neighbor out of stupidity or drunkenness. We don't need that. Enforcers stop hassling us, that'll be enough. In return, we'll find the scavengers or rob the cultist bodies, and we'll talk to them. One lower decker to another. If there are any of those damned ambulants about, we'll hand them over to the enforcers ourselves. You speak for yourself and your clan, and I'll speak for me and mine. I don't want empty gestures. I want real change. They promise us the world now, but as soon as the anointed one turns his back, these brutes will be on us even harder than before. All because we dared to speak out. Offering concessions. I don't know what a single person in Depot 4 ever stood next to a rogue trader, let alone talk to them. Back down. Now's not the time to be a stubborn old crone. Listen to us, old man. The 3 clans of Depot 4 ought to act as one. We made up our minds. It's your turn to decide. Don't ask them to disband the enforcers or give us weapons. We don't need any of that. You two are ganging up on me, is that it? So brave of you against an old woman, but I'll shut up. I will indeed. I won't go against 2 clan leaders of my own. If you want to make peace with the enforcers, make your peace. That's great, just fantastic, Lord Captain. We're all agreed. We're nasty business, faster than enforcers. We'll leave no stone unturned.
I always have a backup plan.
All right, we seem to have resolved that in a peaceful manner. All right. Leveled up. Head back and go back on our mission. Stopping unexpectedly, Abelard imperiously dismisses the unit to stand at a distance and addresses your companion, saying, "We have urgent matter to discuss with Lord Captain. Please give us a moment." Well, are you pleased with your investigation, Lord Captain? You kowtow to the loyal rabble. You believe their lies and show them leniency. The next time the ship is attacked by cultists, the rebel will welcome them with open arms and allow them to wreak havoc they like, because they see you as a weak leader. I'd intervene. Remember, Lord Captain Theodora. Do you think she ever once set one slippered foot on the lower decks? No, she did not. Such masters were left to myself and the junior officers, while she dedicated herself to grand designs for the Protectorate, and as any true strategist and road trader ought. Prosperity of the Von Valencia's Protectorate is not just an empty phase to me. I left the Imperial Navy for a chance to see it flourish. It was the most momentous decision of my life. I did it because I saw in Lord Captain Theodora's deeds a sign of true greatness. Road traders do not simply forge new routes or capture worlds. They create order out of anarchy. Creative impulse was entirely lacking during my time in the military. So I left behind everything I had known, everything my family had known, and I come from a long line of officers, and I embarked upon this incredibly reckless venture, Lord Captain. Theodora entrusted me with all the concerns she had had no time for. She would go off on her flagships for long periods to distant frontiers on scouting voyages, and the advancement of the entire Protectorate rested on my shoulders. And then suddenly, everything that had been built over the years began to quake, rattling like a flimsy hanger on a seismically active world. One of the senior officers betrayed us all. The road trader was killed, and who knows what is happening on the planets. I tell you this honestly without fear of appearing weak. All this has come as a grievous blow to me. I am not panicking or grieving because I cannot allow myself to panic or grieve. I am duty bound to aid the new road trader, to aid you, to find your footing as quickly as possible. And to do that, I must insulate you from problems in the past that have been dealt with tried and tested procedures set out in the ship's regulations. Procedures that were established long ago and functioned smoothly for decades cannot suddenly be deemed excess to requirements. Yeah, well, not everything stays the same, dude. I get ya. You're a man of structure and order. And that's fine. But the world changes. We're docking. Taking the gang. And we're going in.
Pathetic worm. You dare to argue with your master?
It was not you whom I swore to serve within these walls. My lips are sealed.
Confess! What was the old man's last command? What are you planning?
Give up, Keeper. You have lost this battle. Again.
We're getting nowhere with these ones, sir. Permission to execute them.
Execute the infidels. Step back, or I will unleash all the horrors of the Sea of Souls upon you. Emperor, be my witness. Before you stands Felix Christoph August, keeper of the station. So you did not come to offer support to the traitors? This is great news. Having said that, you must understand that Uric 5 is a holy sanctum for House Orselio, and the path it is only revealed to a select few. It pains me to say you are not on the guest list. The blame lies with Theobald Orselio, the second keeper of Uric 5. The old man was a great navigator, but he could no longer control his powers. I begged him to retire, but he was too obsessed with our mistress, Lady Cassia. His madness and stubbornness spelled doom for the entire station, for he opened his third eye in a fit of rage and unleashed the horrors of the war upon those who displeased him. Theobald, I knew, would have never used his powers in such a reckless manner. This will be difficult to explain to the uninitiated, but I'm going to try. The warp currents in the system have been tumultuous for dozens of cycles, and have worn the veil between our world and the Immaterium thin and frail, at least here on the station. The ruinous powers are trying to tear it down completely and corrupt all living things. The servants were the first to fall victim to it. While their bodies morphed, the pain and despair drove the poor souls mad. The lunatics took my mistress prisoner and almost destroyed the station. But I rallied a few who still followed the light of the Golden Throne to set things right. Lord Navigator here is speaking the unvarnished truth. I bet the station is full of voices and whispers, all trying to break through from the other side, waiting for you to reach out and swing the door wide open. I sincerely hope the influence of the Immaterium has not yet affected your body and soul. With all due respect, I advise you not to remain on the station. Return to the Void Ship. I need to save Lady Cassia. If you're not willing to help, indeed risk your life, you must leave now. Circumstances, and yet... Yeah. Lady Cassia's well-being is above all. I haven't got many people left, and my wounds are too deep for me to act with precision and swiftness, but you may actually succeed. In order to ascend to the Mistress's chamber, you will need to remake a holy relic sanctified with the blood of Lady Orselio herself. Control rod of the elevated machine spirit. One part, and the other lost during the mutiny, but this relic will be used. No use unless someone... The elevator is... How do I remake the control rod? I have a phylactery containing the Mistress's blood. It needs to be taken to the laboratory, which is located behind one of the reliquary doors. The most ancient sacred mechanisms help to rebuild the rod. The tech priest carelessly performed the rites of appeasement so that the machine spirits have to serve the house in time of need. Well, hour is now upon us. Project data crypt. The Navilis Noblate used independent modifications of standard sanguinary technologies due to the unique genetic code inherent to the lineage of each house. For a reason, I respectfully decline your request. Esteemed servant of El Messiah, you have sacraments, we have ours. And cottager is situated in the guard room. Just enter the command sequence and the mechanism will open. Suppose that makes sense. I mean, he's probably up to something, but we'll see.
Is a sacred place of the old Messiah, who shields the rulers of this fortress against death and darkness. Why then are the vocals dead? And why is the air not filled with the holy binaric rhythms?
The station's lack of response to our ship's hails was already suspicious. I am no less uneasy after the Magos' words. Hands at your weapons.
Attention to detail is the key to success.
Ripper, auto pistol, and a frag grenade. That way for remaking the reliquary.
circuits will be your downfall.
For the Emperor!
All right, let's rock and roll.
Rejoice in battle! Faith without deeds eradicated.
Anything else? Will do.
Ah! Follow my lead.
Break their morale!
Is
My
negligible.
faith strengthens me.
Indeed. I'm not interested.
Victory is imminent.
Heavy is the tread of his faithful. The scriptural prognosis is favorable. Running binary. Good value.
Weather the storm!
Stay vigilant. Sigh!
I must not falter. Onward!
On it. It's as good as done.
God Emperor, move through me! Be the fire in my heart! I'll do it. Prayer.
I'll make it happen. I won't compromise my principles.
They who discern the future own the battlefield.
Moving out! Follow my lead. Follow my lead.
Run, 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 run.
Weather the storm.
Please do all group up so I can launch you here into space.
As the Emperor commands, I act. None can escape the Emperor's judgment. Doubt is for the weak.
High momentum.
In thy thy light I stand, and thy light I crave. Guided by faith. Navigated. You can escape the Emperor's judgment.
Anything else? What an unfortunate turn of fate. On it.
Onward!
High momentum.
Tried and tested tactics are the best ones. It will be done. An exemplary strike. For von Valencius. At your beck and... I've seen worse battles than this in my time.
Activate calculated fury algorithm. The Omnisire condemns you.
Select our goop.
I always keep my options open.
About those folk from the lower decks. I think the enforcers went overboard. You can't keep people ground down all the time. Even if they don't kick up a fuss, they'll definitely go crazy.
I pity the weak and innocent who have fallen victim to the misdoings of others.
Operation successful.
I'm recording blasphemy. The person found guilty of such cruelty to normal mechanisms, he's sentenced to immediate destruction. Open up doors. Activate the elevator. I think we're done.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
The machine god grants me insight.
Trading goodies. Watch out that gun.
My success is an irrefutable certainty.
Compared to naval service, that was barely a challenge.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
All right. Go this way. Open door.
This is intriguing.
It's around. What happens if you put this stuff in here? Flask. Navigator flesh sample mutated. Data crypt connector. Catalyst flask. Don't have any catalyst.
Let us not dawdle.
I guess I don't need to do that, but I find it weird there's no catalyst.
Keep your wits about you.
Sure I didn't miss anything. Guess whatever was needed was already loaded in there. I don't know. Weird.
I always keep my options open.
All right, well, guess we can head back. Nothing else to loot. Nothing else we need.
Experience. Nothing matters more.
We brought the activation rod as well. Remember, every second of hesitation may cost crossroads. There are two paths, both stained with blood, both leading to the accursed eye. I'd say one is painted with blind faith, the other with hatred and treachery, both leading to tragedy. To raise their hands against the scions of the noble bloodline.
I'll make an example out of you!
Stand your ground!
As the Emperor commands, I act.
I love missing easy shots.
Request. Vital function successfully terminated.
guidance has failed me.
Follow my lead.
Who, if not me? I'll make it happen.
I'll do it. Strike is a prayer.
I refuse. It's as good as done.
Indeed. It will be done.
Weapon at the ready. Follow my lead.
Follow my lead. Duty prevails.
High momentum.
There is movement in the Empyrean. But of course, farewell. Will do. Anything else?
Faith without deeds is worthless. I am his will made manifest. As the Emperor commands, I act. I'll do it. Doubt is for the weak.
Explorers know one route. Forward. Request approved. Flesh is weak, yet iron knows no pain.
I won't stand for it.
My competences are not that universal. Request denied.
I'll make it. You never stood a chance.
My place is at the fore. At your beck and call. Grey hair, sure hand.
On it. Was that you? Or anything else?
High momentum.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! As the Emperor commands, I act. Faith without deeds, strife is a prayer.
Wreck those guys. All right.
The Whispers told me how.
All right, the elevator's ready to go. Let's go up. The pale figure with unnaturally long limbs covers her face with her hands, which are deformed with talon-like nails. Her deathly pale face is coated with blood that continually streams from her scarlet misted eyes. Her spiny gills, slightly hidden under disheveled hair, twitch nervously at your approach. Lean out, you notice a third eye in the young woman's forehead, hidden by a jeweled ornament. When your eyes meet, you sense overwhelming, soul-southering power. You're enveloped in despairing grief, and an invisible hand closes around your throat, cutting off your breath. Your limbs seem to fill with lead. Your heart hammers in your chest, and a desire to turn and flee from this room, from the station, almost gets the better of you. At the last moment, you master your emotions, and your will pushes back against the illusion, forcing it to retreat. Ow, 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 as if my own little pals weren't bad enough. Now this one's barging into my head. Somebody stop her. I'm registering abnormal activity in my tear ducts. The salt being produced from my body may negatively affect the performance of my respiratory apparatus. This vulnerability must be rectified. It has been logged. Where is he? Drawn out. What is happening? Who is someone calling my name? Are all the betrayers dead already? And you? Who are you? Manners Penguin, I did not expect to make such gracious acquaintance in this great time of sorrow for our house. What is this? I feel faint. The heavy-set old man who's been kneeling nearby erupts into low sobs. His eyes, swollen from crying, dart desperately around the room. The child, Lady Cassia, where are you, sacred child? Throne preserve. You. Eyes fail me, for they are unable to make you out as an enemy or ally. I'm warning you, one wrong move will bring the wrath of House Arcelio down upon your head. Child, Lord Captain, this one's so deranged is making the whispers shriek like crazy. He might just open that eye of his. Coveting riches for the rec station. But who are you? Deals that benefit one side alone, given that you drawing your weapon, you're probably peaceful, and so Arcelio asks a service of you. Save the life of the child in exchange for future cooperation. Do not hurry to answer. Think on it. You can make yourself an ally or an enemy of our house today. You decide. Save the sacred child. Take her away from the station. I fear I do not have long left. Save the child. Deliver her safely to Regent Aranto, acting head of House Arcelio in the Coronis Expanse. Rest assured that the reward will be worth your effort. I knew we came in for a navigator, but after everything we've seen, I've got some reservations about this girl. A fragile thing with a heavy burden upon her shoulders. My service to the house is coming to an end. The wounds fellow inflicted on my flesh will never heal. I am dying. Praise the throne solely enough to see the child is taken care of. No, I am the keeper of Urak 5 and will perish along with my station. On that note, I have other matters to attend to. My wayward student. It is Novatorus. Wish we're gonna take the Navigator with us.
Wake up, my mistress, my sacred child. It is all over now. It is over.
And of course, OBS crashed. Nine minutes and 50 seconds. Never told me what was going on.
What happened? You. I remember you. Have you come to save us?